Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Jake with PackMan Sports. I'm whispering here is because it's midnight and my roommates are sleeping, so I want to be able to make this video really quickly as possible and keep it down a little bit so I don't wake anybody up. You know, crap can hit the fan whenever I wake up people, so I just want to be able to make sure that I can get this video. I haven't had a whole lot of time to be able to make this video, and I do want to get this up at the first thing in the morning whenever I get up and get this video up here before anything happens with the Packers making cuts. So I want to be able to get this up really quick and then go to bed and get ready to go to work and stuff. And then here it is, my last 53 man Green Bay Packers roster prediction, starting with all the cuts right here. These guys here are all listed to make cuts, except for maybe possibly this guy who is highlighted here, Juwan Winfrey, the standout wide receiver that has shown a lot of promise in mini camp and training camp. He's dealing with an injury of sorts, so I don't know what's going on there. Do not be surprised if he lands up on injured reserve. I don't know the severity of his injury, but if it's as severe as people think that it could be, do not be surprised if he lands up on injured reserve instead of being cut. But since I don't know the severity of his injury, I'm probably just going to assume he's probably going to be released. I think I have Equanimeous St. Brown here as a player of note. I think his time in here in Green Bay is done. I really hope not. I really wish that, really wish for Equanimeous to have a really good chance to be able to prove something. But I think injuries and just not being able to get onto the field and being productive has been the last straw for him. He's also got an expiring contract after this year. I think the Packers may decide to just part ways with EQ after not really being able to see that or be able to find a roster spot if the Packers decide to go with 6 or 7 receivers. I think that there's a pretty good chance they'll have 6. And Benkert here, another player of note. Don't have him making the roster as the third quarterback because I think the Packers want to go with 2. It's not uncommon for the Packers to do that, but the Packers did have 3 last year because they just wanted to be able to have Jordan to develop, as he was not really quite ready to be the backup to Aaron yet. And that's why they had Tim Boyle and Jordan Love last year, is because Tim was just simply ready and Jordan was just not. He was somebody that was going to be developed and brought along slowly, and in his second year, Jordan is ready for that. So that's why I think the Packers are going to go with 2 instead of 3. Kabian Ento, I really almost wanted to put him on the 53-man roster, but he was a former receiver, and I think some issues with his tackling is probably going to be a reason why he's going to be left off the 53. And I think that probably it's going to be pretty tough. It's 50-50 on him making the roster. Now to go over the injured reserve list, do not be surprised if Juwan Winfrey joins Randy Ramsey and Will Redmond in there. Jay Sternberger will be on the suspended list because he got busted for drunk driving and he's suspended for 2 games. And now on to the actual 53-man roster. I'll start off here with the quarterbacks here. We got A-Rod and J-Love. I'm sticking with these 2 guys. And then running backs, instead of going with 4, I'm going to go with 3 this time. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, and Kylan Hill are promising 7th-round rookie. Kylan looks really good. He's very similar to that of Brandon Jackson. He's really good in between the tackles. He can run outside really well, and he catches passes out of the backfield really well. He had a very good camp and a very good preseason showing. And then for the wide receivers here, I'm going to go with 6, Devontae Allen, MVS, Randall. There's no way we're cutting Randall after trading for him. And plus, Aaron wouldn't be too happy if we did. He's a guaranteed lock, man. And we got Amari Rodgers and Malik Taylor filling out the back half of the receiving core. This is a really nice looking receiving core, in my opinion, you guys. People need to take notice and take this group seriously. And our tight ends, we got Bobby, Big Dog, Josiah DeGuara. I remembered to put Josiah on this list this time. Last time I forgot him, and I'm sorry, Josiah. You're making the list, man. And then the 4th tight end is Dominic Daphne. I think he makes it because he certainly has a lot of potential. Offensive tackles, I'm going to go with 4. I was back and forth on having 3 or 4 because there are some guys that can play offensive tackle. like one of them being Elton Jenkins. He possibly may be starting at left tackle this season, with David Bakhtiari unfortunately still rehabbing that knee injury that from the torn ACL from last winter. Billy Turner, Dennis Kelly. Don't have to be surprised if Dennis Kelly doesn't make it, but I think that the Packers brought him in here for a reason, to kind of like fill in for that Rick Wagner type role. Uh, Josh Neidman, I think he's got a pretty good chance of being cut, but I think the Packers, due to that the fact that he can play left tackle, is probably a reason why he's going to stick. The guards, Elton Jenkins, Royce Newman, Lucas Patrick, and John Runyon, all those guys are all pretty interchangeable at both guard and center, with especially with Lucas and Elton. So that's why I have just one center, Josh Myers. And to go over the special teams really quick, this is not a surprise. Mason Crosby, J.K. Scott, and Hunter Bradley are going to assume their positions at kicker, punter, and left and long snapper respectively. To the defense, I'm going to go with 4 defensive ends here: Kingsley Keke, Dean Lowry, Tyler Lancaster is going to make it, and Jack Heflin, the promising undrafted free agent that we brought in. He has been really, really good in preseason. He has made some plays. He is particularly a really good run stopper, and he's actually come along as a pass rusher. So I'm very encouraged with Jack, and I really hope that he can make some kind of impact with depth and being able to help this defensive line get better. I personally would prefer the Packers look outside the free agency and bring a defensive end here to Green Bay to help our linebackers and to be able to help our nose tackle Kenny Clark here. So that's why I got Kenny Clark, and with TJ Slayton backing him up. So that's 6 defensive linemen in total. Outside linebackers here, no surprise here. Za'Darius and Preston, the Smith brothers. Rashawn Gary backing them up. And Jonathan Garvin. Unfortunately, with Za'Darius nursing some type of an injury of sorts, he's questionable to be ready for the start of the regular season. Don't be surprised if there's going to be a 5th outside linebacker instead. We could look to bring in an outside guy and maybe pick up somebody off of waivers, just in case, for depth purposes. And for the inside linebackers here, Chris Barnes, Devondre Campbell, Oren Burks, Ty Summers, and Isaiah McDuffie. Not a surprise here, really, by the process of elimination of our other inside linebackers. Kamal Martin was released recently, so that's why he's not here on this list. And that was a pretty big surprise, but since he was underperforming, it's pretty safe to say the Packers were probably right on this one. And then for cornerbacks here, I'm going to go with 6 here. Jair and Kevin assuming the roles as starting outside, and then Chandon Sullivan possibly going back to being the starting slot corner at the star role. Eric Stokes will probably come in and slowly develop behind Jair and Kevin, but do not be surprised if we see a whole bunch of Eric in a part-time role outside, and whenever need be, the Packers can take Jair and put him at slot and mix him up there in the star position. So that there's a lot of potential with this group of cornerbacks. And then filling out the rest here is Shamar Jean Charles, a budding young slot corner here, and then Isaac Yadam. And then onto the safeties here. I think we may go with 5. The Packers have had the history of going with 5 safeties. We kept 5 last year. And with an injury to Vernon Scott right here, I think that we are going to have that extra guy here, and that extra safety here is Christian Uphoff. The reason why he's going to make it is because of special teams potential. The Packers really like his ability as a gunner, and he can really tackle pretty well actually as a special teams player. He's done some pretty good work as a gunner. And this is something that is very important, that the Packers be able to get some players that can play on special teams, because this unit cannot get any worse. We need to be able to find a way to be able to get a better unit here, and maybe Christian Uphoff can provide a little bit of a spark in there. So that is what I have for the final 53-man roster for the Green Bay Packers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of who do you think is going to make it on this list that I don't have. And with all that said, I will catch you guys later. Go Pack, go.